Hello and welcome to Gaia GPS. This is where we come and pull cards for the Astro week ahead. I see that we were just joined by a mermaid.
Collie Mermaid.
I'm just a buzz Ariel, and I bought her from Target when it was Halloween, close to Halloween. And
Awesome. Baby, we're going to record.
I'm going to do it after. I'm going to wear it on Halloween.
Awesome. All right. Go ahead, Mimi.
Thank you, Mermaid Ariel, for blessing us with your mermaid glow. So anyways, I am Mimi. I'm here with Nicole Oman and her mermaid daughter, and we are ready to dive in for the Astro Tarot week ahead. And we're starting with the sun shifting into Virgo. So the sun moved into Virgo actually yesterday. On Monday, I don't even know what date that is, the 22nd, it shifted, but we have a whole month of it ahead. So we're going to dive in for Virgo, and I'm going to start with the most obvious card that I have. I have the card from Wisdom of the Oracle, Chop Wood. And as I see this card with, you know, Sun in Virgo, it's you've got to show up, you've got to do the work, you've got to, I'm going to say this word so many times, you're going to be so sick of it. You've got to focus on the task at hand. Whether it is cleaning up, cleaning out, whether it's doing your own personal inner work, whether it's even just doing the work to make sure that your physical body is taken care of, Virgo rules reality. And I like to say that Virgo energy, your reality is your physical body. This is how we intercept and interpret the reality, everything that's going on around us. So it's really important for you, chop those vegetables, you know, keep your space clean and clear so that you can be present for the process. And what is the process that we're going through with the Sun in Virgo? I've got the Fool card and I've got the Source card. And so as I'm seeing it with all of this energy that we're going to be going through, we're going to be going through the eclipses, we're going to be going through Mercury retrograde. This is a new beginning, the Fool card, a new journey into a deeper sense of self, the creator, your inner light, your soul energy. And I've got the Laziness card. So it's like, you know, you think you've done all this work. This year has been intense. We've done so much work this year, and it's not done. There's still infinite possibilities coming forth, coming through in this energy. But you've got to do the work, just show up for yourself. And Virgo, that's the thing, the task at hand, do the work, do the work, do the work. We've got Sun in Virgo, Node in Virgo, Venus in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, Jupiter in Virgo, and then these eclipses in this Virgo energy for this next month. So it's really important to show up for your physical self, do the work. And from the goddesses, I actually have Freya, bold, and it says, unleash your adventurous side, take risks and be daring. And how I'm seeing this in this energy is right along with the Fool and the Creator. If you are taking care of yourself, then honor the impulses, honor the, what's the right word? The soul drive, that passion in your soul that's moving you forward. I think eclipses come in to help us, they help us shift and change. I don't just think that, I see that as a regular pattern. And so some of this is going to require moving beyond the comfort zone, moving beyond what you have always known. The thing is, if you keep doing the work, taking care of yourself, showing up in whatever capacity necessary, then you have what you need behind you so that you can move forward. So keep taking care of yourself so you're ready. When that energy comes, it's like, yes, move from this place, move from that heart, move from the solar plexus, creative energy. You're going to have done the work, so you're ready to take that bold action, to be the Fool, to take that step. Nicole?
Yeah, I have a lot of cards and it's super specific. So they're telling me to talk about it in a specific way. Okay. So what I'm getting in this Virgo energy, and of course we're showing up and we're needing to do the work because Virgo is like, we're the healers of the zodiac. We need to show up and do the work. But the dark side of the Virgo has a lot of analytical control, you know, perfectionism, things like that. So we have to look at those shadows. So the main concern that I'm having is I feel like you took this leap of faith and you're really going for the work, you're going for what you want. And there might be a part of you that thinks that you already arrived or you already cleared a specific issue. But what I'm being told is that I have the rebirth card in reverse, that you haven't fully gotten your full rebirth yet. And I like what it says in this card. It says the camel is sleepy. So there's three little avatars on this card. We have the camel is the lower level. Then we have the lion, and then we have the child, the purity. And speaking of, I have the child right there. But the camel talks about, hold on, Kelly. I know, Bubba. The camel talks about the camel sleepy, dull, and self-satisfied. He lives in the delusion that he's on the mountain peak, but he is concerned with others' opinions, and he hardly has any energy for himself. And so what they're saying to me is, you might think that you're in that camel, or you're actually that child and you're in that purity, but that child might not be the enthusiastic child. It might be the wounded child. And so what they're saying is, keep going deeper, continue going deeper to find that inner voice. You haven't gotten to the voice of your higher self yet. It might still be Darth Vader. It's not Mufasa yet. And as you start getting into those layers and you keep diving deeper and deeper and deeper to find that inner voice, what you need to look at, what is blocking that inner voice, is these masks of your own. And the mask is coming in with control issues. So maybe what you're trying to do is you are trying to go to your destiny and you think you're being guided, and there's a part of you that is being guided, but you're not fully, because I have the yin card in reverse. You're not fully receiving the messages, and you're not fully, and I have the co-creation card in reverse. You're not fully listening to spirit. You think so, but you're trying to, your ego is trying to take control, and it's trying to steer the ship instead of the higher voice. And so you really have to be really focused. That word's going to be coming up a lot. Really focused on knowing and discerning on when it is the mask of the ego or when it really is coming from the heart. And if you're pushing too hard or trying to control it or nitpicking things, or mine is I push a little too hard or I try a little too hard, instead of just sitting back in that yin card saying, you don't have to work so hard. Receive. If it's your destiny, it's going to fall in your lap. And then, you know, the opportunity is going to fall in your lap. And then you take action. It's not about being lazy, but don't take action if there's no action to take. Let them bring it to you. Hi. I know you want to wave at everybody. And that is a deep shadow of yours, and you need to be aware of that. It's not about feeling guilty or feeling shameful for doing that. It's just oh yeah, I'm trying to control it. I'm not trusting again. And every time you're not trusting, go back to center. Go back to center. Stop trying so hard. And this is going to be a big lesson, because once you get that lesson, then spirit can bring you the things that it's actually trying to bring you. And it's like they're going, you're making it so much harder. You're making it so much harder on yourself. So that's what I get for the Virgo energy.
I'm just looking at it.
And perfectly. So Moon in Taurus, Moon shifted into Taurus yesterday, and we'll be going through it through tomorrow, through just have my book right here instead of having to look over it, through the 24th. But perfect card that I have from Wisdom of the Oracle is time for a nap. So this is echoing that energy of like sitting back, relaxing, allowing yourself to receive. And Taurus energy is interesting, is so go, 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 get it done, get it productive. I don't know about you, I was telling Nikki, and I've talked to many people, I have been exhausted. I have just needed to sleep. And I think this is part of this energy. In order to refocus, in order to really be able to show up for these eclipses, for what's coming in, it's time to rest. And through this rest, we're getting some beautiful healing energy coming in for us. I think that's one of the things, sometimes Spirit's like, you've got to get out of the way of yourself. I know that's for me, because I'm like, I'm so smart, I know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. The universe is like, take a nap. You've got to get out of your way so the universe can bring in some healing energy for you at this time. And again, just like the Creator card, we're coming back into this energy of Source. I really do feel like all of this energy, it's doing two things at once. We're building into this, we're in this T-square with the mutable signs, we're building into a cross with the mutable signs. The eclipses are coming, they're gonna be working with this, like, this cross energy, this T-square energy. We're being pulled, and yet, as we're being pulled, there's this light, there's this energy that's reminding us to come into our center, because this is where the truth is, right here in your center. This is where God exists as you, through you. And so this energy is like, relax so that you can connect in, so that you're not comparing your process, there's another word for results, but I can't get the word. But basically, your outcomes, where you're at, you're not meant to compare it. You just gotta be firmly where you are at. And it's leading into this success card. But first, you've got to let it go, be in the moment, take a nap, allow the healing to come in. The other card that I get from the goddesses is I've got Sarasvati. And this is the arts, which also tunes into Taurus energy, because Taurus energy is ruled in part by Venus. And it says, express yourself through your creative activities. So to me, this is another way of turning down the monkey mind, getting into yourself. You can see some of my art right behind me. This is all being done back here to get myself out of the monkey mind. I've been going to dance classes, like a million of them, and yoga, and it's all my efforts to get out of here, which is like pulling me apart. I've got a lot of mutable energy, so my mind is like, and this, and this, and this, and this. And instead, it's coming back into your center. So if you're not sleepy, if you're not ready for a nap, find a way to connect in with your creativity, because it'll help you drop out of this place and into here. And this is where we're wanting to come into unification within ourselves and focus. Nicole?
Speaking of time for a nap, that's what that one was supposed to be doing. So she's creeping in. She's like, hey, I don't want to take a nap. I want to be on camera at all times now.
Of course she does.
I got to find an outlet for that Sagittarius to be on camera. But I'm like, well, you got the boundaries, right? It's like, you can't do it here. I love you, but this is workspace. But it is what it is. It's all.
I'm happy to see her.
It's a constant juggle. Yeah, I'm always, and it's a balance for sure. But it's definitely a boundary too. But she's a Scorpio rising. She's a boundary pusher. You know, it is what it is. Anyways, enough about my little one. She's the best. We're going. So the Taurus moon. Mm-hmm. So this is what I'm getting from this energy. All these cards are even the Virgo. All the Virgo energy, we have that Mercury retrograde happening in that Virgo energy. We have these eclipses happening. And I feel like even these cards are like this building up to all that is going to be happening next week as well. So I want you to really listen to what's happening, because I think this is going to be a continuation for the next few weeks. And so the first card that I have is I have the past life card in reverse. This is telling me that you have to deal with something that's happened to you in this lifetime, but in the past. So I like to say that I have lived like 7 incarnations in this one lifetime. If you would have met me 3 years ago, I was very different. You know, you met me before I became a mother, I was very different. If you went, blah, 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 all the way back. So this is saying it's a past life in this lifetime. It's a past incarnation in this lifetime. And this is what I have the healing card as well. And so there's things that are going to come up for your awareness. And it has to do, like I said, that rebirth, that camel, and then into the innocent child. I have the innocence card. This is bringing back the purity. So what I'm getting from this energy is there's something in your past that your wounded child may still be in victim about. And it might be just a belief around that you have it. It might be your resentment or anger around feeling like your childhood was taken away from you and you lost your innocence. What happens is, I love this card and what Osho says in this card. He talks about the difference between a childlike innocence. A child as a child, we are innocent, but we also are, where I'm going to use the word ignorant. We have a certain sense of ignorance because we don't know any better. And we know that every one of us, even the most, beautiful child who's in a very loving home, is still going to go through the world and get some of that innocence or ignorance shattered. They're going to go through things. They're going to go through pain. They're going to go through heartbreak. But if we still continuously look at being a victim to the breaking of our ignorance or innocence, then we become victim to our lives. But when we start to accept that those things were exactly the way that they were supposed to, even if it's ugly and you don't understand it, it's accepting that it's happened. And then forgiveness can start to happen as well, and things can really start to heal and unravel. They did not take your innocence from you. Life did not take your innocence from you. Nobody took your innocence. You still have purity within your heart. You still have the essence of the soul. You had to be broken down for whatever reason, for your own themes and your own growths. And it broke down ignorance so you can come to a place of having more compassion for others by going through the hard times that you've been through. It's made you the person that you are. So we have to regain the sense of innocence. And the only way that we can get back to the purity of our soul is to have forgiveness and acceptance for the things that happened. And trust that everything was supposed to be just the way it was. Even the stuff that you don't understand. And you don't ever really have to understand it. But we do have to forgive it. And we do have to start accepting those things and not be resentful, but realize the only thing that's keeping you from the purity of your soul is the resentment or the anger that it should have been or could have been or would have been any other way. And so that's what we're starting to look at. And that's the themes that are going into these eclipses. These are the things that are going to be shedding the light. But you can always have access to the purity within. I have the 2 to Sea card in reverse. This means this is not a time to go out and try to push and make things happen. When the boats are tattered, I love this card. It says when the boats are tattered and the fishermen can't go to sea, that's when they come, they stay home, and they repair the nets, they repair the boats. Right now, it's not a time to go out to sea. Right now, it's a time to repair the boat, repair the nets, and then have trust and faith that when you can regain that sense of purity, then it will be time to move forward again.
Perfect.
I'm sorry, it's something channeled. I felt it come through my eyes. I was like, okay, I'm channeling something right now. But
Well, it's perfect too, because it goes really hand in hand with my next set of cards for the moon shifting into Gemini. So the moon is shifting into Gemini on Wednesday. And this is interesting because we also have Mars and Saturn conjunct on Wednesday, and we're going to pull cards for that as well. But this moon in Gemini is bringing in the 4th mutable. So moon in Gemini brings us into the energy of the mutable Grand Cross, which is where we are kind of like at a crossroads, pulled in 4 different directions. And again, it's coming back into that energy, finding that focus, finding your center. But what I have that goes so well with what Nicole was just saying is I have the Breathe card. And this is the card of patience, waiting. And I have it along with Erikura, the blossoming card. And what comes between these 2 cards for me is, you cannot rush a flower to bloom. You can stand over it and be like, bloom, do it now, open. And the flower is still like, I'm doing things in my divine timing. And that's where we're at with this energy. And Mars and Saturn, Mars and Sagittarius is impatient. And it's like, I was retrograding. I am direct now. I'm here with Saturn. I want to get going. And my message through all of this has been, you feel like you're blocked from this, but you're not being blocked. You're being taken through the steps. And part of the steps is that allowing that time, allowing yourself to blossom. And this energy is helping you move from the energy of control of the mind, of that control in the mind in reverse, into the energy of harmony. I have the card, the Rebel, breaking through these old chains. Breaking through, this is such a funny thing, breaking through the chains of needing everything to be now, right now. We are in such a society where everyth's like instant gratification. And if we have to wait even a minute, we're like, nope, that's too long, I'm done. And so this energy is like, slow down this monkey mind, slow down the process, be present in the process, and allow this beautiful unfolding. Your mind is going to be telling you, and those control issues that Nicole talked about earlier are going to be telling you, this should be done right now, you should already be there. And it's like, no, it shouldn't be, because first you have to get in alignment. You've got to get in alignment with yourself. You've got to get in alignment with your head and your heart. And you've got to become, I love this card, the Rebel. It's the Emperor card. You've got to become set within yourself. Are you the ruler of your life? Or is it all that outside stimulation, information that has been guiding you and guiding your timing? The universe is like, nope, we're coming back into divine timing. Breathe. Be present with yourself, allow, and beyond all that, connect in with your heart energy. Your mind is going to be off the chain in this energy. Your mind is going to be like, this shouldn't be happening. This is the way it should be. I want it now. And you've got to keep coming back in being like, I trust this divine unfolding. I trust the way it's flowering. And I'm going to breathe through this energy and know that everything is working out divinely. Nicole?
Yeah, so what I'm getting from these cards are kind of a little weird. So I'm going to just start reading them and see what comes through, because I'm not exactly sure what will. So again, the card I get is the Rebirth card, but this time it's right side up. So in this Gemini energy, there is a time for having some rebirthing starting to happen, maybe having a little bit more clarity, and that is bringing me into the consciousness card. But the consciousness card is in reverse. So your thoughts might go dark, and your thoughts might start spiraling you out of control. Like Mimi said with the mind. But this is a really good opportunity to bring in that awareness that what triggers you to spiral down that path. Who spirals you? What is their behavior? Is it abandonment? I'm feeling it might be abandonment. They're giving me two. It's either abandonment or fear of rejection. Yeah. So it's something of this nature. And this is what triggers you. And this is what brings up the wound. I have the isolation card. This is someone who has guarded their heart because it's easier to be in isolation or in frozen in that moment than to let anybody else in. But this trigger, this wounding, the wounding needs to be triggered for you to have some healing. So if it does get triggered, you can go in the mind and go on your downward spiral, or you can realize what triggers you and not take that particular mirror, because it's Gemini energy, so you're probably going to manifest a mirror to trigger these issues. So it's not necessarily their problem. You have to bring it back on you, mirror it to yourself of like, okay, their behavior is triggering me. And what they're doing may or may not be wrong, or may not be actually trying to hurt you or malicious. But it is triggering something that it does feel painful. It does feel hurtful. It's because you haven't fully let the pain of the past go. So it's still in there. And just so you know, it's going to feel intense, and things will move forward very quickly from this energy, but it's going to feel intense, nor good or bad. But what they're saying is, as the intensity comes, you can be in reaction if that's what you choose. But instead, it's not about isolating. It's about resting. It's about maybe just taking a step back, and there's the rest card again. I have the soulmate card in reverse. And when I get this card, this tells me that whoever is going to trigger you it's a contracted thing. They're a soulmate to bring up the pain. They're not here to punish you, but you're like unraveling some sort of old even past life karma or trauma, this life, past life karma, trauma, and it might be coming from that particular person. It might be your father, it might be your brother, it might be whoever. It might be coming directly from the source of where that trauma was created in this lifetime, or it might be someone who is just mirroring that energy of your father. You meet a man that's like, oh man, he reminds me so much of my dad's issues, and boom, there's your triggered dad issue, triggered abandonment issue, triggered rejection issue. Somebody might remind you of an ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, something of this nature. Something's, yeah, something is just gonna, I have the politics card in reverse again. It's gonna be triggering a hidden wounding within you, and it's a mask that you're covering that, but it's bringing it up to the surface. Just be patient, just rest. Don't even try, like you can heal it if you want to, just rest though. Let it come up and just relax. I know that sounds so intensely relaxing. And it's kind of but that's Gemini for you, right? So you're having the polar opposites.
I mean, that's what all of these things seem to be. It's like this week is intense. This build up to, you know, all this energy, these eclipses, it's intense. And yet it's like, care for your body, relax, rest into it. Don't get like in your body, because you need your body to help process this energy. That's how
I totally agree, Mimi. That's exactly what's doing. It's like, it's not here to like send you off the deep end. It's here to tell you to relax your body, because if you just surrender to it, I know this sounds so weird. It's like you could either react or you can surrender. If you surrender, healing is available. Because when you rest, when you sleep, when you rest, that's when they're working on you. And your higher self can work on you. Your DNA can be restructured. When the wound is up, they brought the wound up so they can pull it out, and then they can restructure the DNA so you don't have to deal with that karma anymore. So if you don't rest and you're in like stress mode, they can't get to you. And they're like, well, now you're going to be running around because we can't get to you. But if you rest, you relax, you take a nap, woohoo! We could go in there and do our surgery.
Gaia Blooming is giving you permission to nap this week.
Massively. And it's funny because I'm going on vacation this week. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
Awesome. All right. So our next connection is Mars conjunct Saturn, which is a really interesting connection. It's feeding into the energy that we just talked about with the moon in Gemini and the mutable cross energy. Mars and Saturn. Mars is action, and Saturn is like, let's do things right. Let's do it by the book. And it's interesting because the cards that I have with this energy is I have building blocks and a change in the wind. And this is like where we're at. It's like, it reminds me of that intensity card, that feeling like we want to speed up. We want to be like the arrow and move into it. We've been taking all this time while Mars was retrograde, honing our aim, moving into like, this is what I want. This is how I want to get there. And Saturn conjunct Mars, it almost can feel like you've hit a wall. You're like, here's all this energy. And then here's like Saturn, this big foreboding at times energy. And it's saying, this is not meant to stop.
Uh-oh. It sounds like Mimi froze. We're in Mercury shadow, so I'm not surprised. So I'm going to go ahead and take over for now, and then when she comes back, she can finish her message. So we're talking about the Mars-Saturn conjunction. We're also having some mutable cross energy, and so I'm going to putting this all together. So this is what I'm getting from this energy. I have the Fool card in reverse. This means that there is an opportunity for a new beginning, but there's still some things that you're holding on to. I have the Miser card in reverse. So this is, at least I feel like there's a willingness to start opening up again, opening your heart again, and getting out of this hamster wheel of the mind. So there's some old mental patternings that are happening. So the way to deal with this is, the only way you can deal with this is have loving truth to yourself. Be honest with yourself and be honest with others. Be honest with yourself and be honest with others. Where are you needing a change in your life? Where are you needing, what is your heart telling you? Maybe something isn't working anymore and you have to be honest with somebody else. Maybe you've been lying to yourself and you still feel like something, like you're trying to tell yourself that something's working when it's not. Maybe it's a job, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a friendship, maybe it's something like you're satisfied with the money of your job, but really it's killing you inside. It's really killing you. And you're having to really look at that, of what it's doing to your body, what it's doing to your well-being, what it's doing to your moods. Maybe you're feeling like you need to go on antidepressants. Well, maybe antidepressants isn't the issue. Maybe it's something going on, or the depression's not the issue. Maybe it's something going on, and you really have to be honest with yourself and start opening up your heart and not just going in the logical route. Because then I have this going with the flow energy. You have to open up those floodgates of your emotions. Your emotions are wanting to lead you to something that is going to be better for your psyche, for your body, for your soul. But you have to surrender into the current of that water, of the current of your feelings. And maybe you shut your feelings down for so long that they feel super uncomfortable, but the mind is just going to get you more of what you're not satisfied with. And so you can't do it the logical way this time, because I have the treasure island in reverse, and here it is around water. If you don't get into the water, if you don't get into your feelings, if you don't get into this more feminine surrender into the current of your life, then you're going to just keep wandering and meandering through the roads of the mind, and it's just meandering you in places that you feel lost. You're in the land of the lost. You're in the land of the desert, and you just don't feel satiated or satisfied. So be very honest with yourself and see where those things, those depressions, those sadnesses, where they're really coming from. And it's something that you have the power to change, is what I'm getting. And so Saturn and Mars, there's that power to change, but you have to be honest with yourself to actually have the courage to make those changes. Okay. Hi, Mimi. You can finish yours.
Oh, I hit the wall. I hit the Saturn wall. Anyways, so I was saying I've got the building blocks card and I've got change in the wind. And I love what Nicole was just saying. You have the power to change, because that's what I believe. Any of that wall that's coming up for you right now is that energy. Exactly. It's like you've got to have the right building blocks in place. You've got to have the foundation in place. I've got the Thunderbolt card in reverse, and this to me is there's still past trauma, past experience, past pain that is part of your foundation. And so part of this energy, part of why you're not completely moving forward as you'd like to with this Mars energy that's like passionate, fiery in Sagittarius, is because you still have to do some of the structure work. Saturn works on our structure. So this is not you're never going. I've got adventure and traveling in reverse. There is some adventure. There's travel coming up. But I've got the postponement card. It's postponed so that you can work through this energy. And I have the High Priestess, the inner voice card. You know what to do. You know how to move through this, but you've got to be willing to be present for yourself and the lessons that Saturn is presenting you with right now. So anything that seems like a blockade, anything that seems like resistance from the universe right now is not at all. These are steps that are taking you into your healing. They're taking you into your transformation. They're bringing you into that change that's in the wind, but you've got to be willing to be present with them. And I've got from the goddesses, butterfly maiden, transformation. You're experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. But this reminds me of, the process of a butterfly. When a butterfly comes out of a cocoon, it's actually a struggle. It's not an easy thing. And if you help a butterfly out of their cocoon, then they're never actually able to develop their wings, apparently. They have to go through the process. And so that's this energy. Saturn's like, I know this feels hard. I promise you I'm not punishing you. I promise you I'm not holding you back. Don't fight the resistance. Instead, look at what the resistance is meaning to teach you right now, and then move through it, work with it, because it's helping give you a solid foundation. And I'm not going to hand it over to Nicole. I was like, here, your turn, but it's my turn again. So let me put these cards, I have my cards scattered all over, and for the final aspect, how funny. Final aspect of the week, we have the moon in Cancer. So moon in Cancer, bringing us into our emotional energy. And funny enough, the moon in Cancer loves comfort zones. And the first card that I have is Come to the Edge. And what I'm getting with the moon in Cancer and comfort zones is you've got to be willing to face your feelings on these things that are coming up. I'm getting that's part of the healing energy. It's part of helping you break through any of these barriers. I've got the Clean to the Past card. There are things, there's old trauma, there's old restrictions that you're still like, I wasn't allowed to do this. You know, I have that. One of the ones that comes up for me was so frustrating for me when I was a little girl. I danced my whole life. Dance was my first love. My mom wouldn't let me do jazz, which in order to do competition in New York, I had to do jazz. My mom wouldn't let me. She's like, I'm not okay with you wiggling. And there's a part of me, my inner child, still holding on to that, like her not letting me. And, you know, at this point, when am I going to let it go? When am I going to let that burden? Because now I'm like, well, I'm going to choose what I'm going to do. I'm going to do burlesque. That's me coming to the edge. It's me like, okay, I felt restricted by the parent, by the Saturn energy, and now I've been able to break through. And there was a reason for that. I don't know what the reason was at this time. I may never know that reason, but you've got to be willing to not keep holding yourself in those constraints. How are you going to be honest to you? You don't have to fit into these old comfort zones to be, I don't know, to be a good person. Because my mom, I think, still has that mentality, like, you don't get up and wiggle on stage. And I'm like, you get up and you really wiggle on stage. So how can you move through that so that you can be true to you? I think that this is going to be some of those energies, and you're going to have to break through that old conditioning. I don't have that conditioning card, but there's going to be that opportunity to break through what was the comfort zone into what is truly authentic to you. But you're going to have to let go, like, of the, well, I wasn't allowed to do that. That's okay. You get to decide now. The other card that I have, though, which is interesting, kind of balances Come to the Edge, is also Easy Does It by Unuk. And I think that is kind of the balancing force in this. If you are not ready, if it's not calling you, if it's not that motivation, that Mars in your soul that's like, yes, take this step now, don't force yourself. You don't have to break yourself out. Come to the edge. I have a friend who likes to say, you don't have to break your comfort zone, you can stretch your comfort zone. And so I think that's kind of this energy with the moon in Cancer. You don't have to just break free, break through the bars, you can stretch it. So move in a way that's appropriate to you, that feels good to you in this energy. Nurture yourself. Show up for yourself in this energy. Nicole?
Yeah, I definitely feel like this energy is connected to mother in general. Not just Mimi's story, but I really want you guys to look at your own relationship on creativity and expression, and the way that your mom has creativity and expression within them, because that is the very thing. And I said this in one of my daily guidances this week, but that's exactly, this postponement card is somebody that really wants to live a colorful existence, but they're staying in the black and white, and they're looking out the window of color and creativity and expression and living their life to the fullest. But they're keeping themselves back because of an old story that was given to them by this feminine matriarch paradigm. So maybe your mom was like, oh, your art is beautiful, but you'll never make money doing that, and that's just very illogical, don't do that. Or, oh, that's okay. I have that. Okay, I watch a lot of kids' movies. I'll just be honest with you, because I have a 4.5-year-old. But I see the mother in Despicable Me, and he keeps coming out with these different little inventions, and he's like, look, Mom, I built a rocket ship. And she's like, that's kind of the energy that I'm getting from this? That's the vision. Okay, that's how they talk to me. Sun in the fifth house, inner child. I got it. Okay, it comes through the children's movies. Right. So what is happening is you're having to look at your own. Here's the mother energy, the matriarch, but it's also creativity. So you're having to look at. It's so Cancer energy, right? You have to try to find how to nurture your own creativity, mother your own inner child, mother your own imagination, and parent that in a different way, and give yourself encouragement to continue to be expressive or to be colorful or live your life in the way that you're feeling. But underneath it all, I have this aloneness card in reverse. You're still a little scared. You're still not wanting to trust that light, trust your gifts, trust. And it might not just creativity. Creativity is directly connected into spirituality, to spirit, to intuition. So you might be suppressing your intuitive gifts, your psychic gifts, your connection to your higher self or your spirit or your purpose or your destiny. You're not fully trusting yourself yet, and you're not allowing yourself to trust a vision that's really wanting to come out. It's like, oh, one day you're going to own your own art studio, and you're like, what? What? That doesn't even make any sense. Well, right now it might not make sense to you because you're holding yourself into the black and white. You're in Pleasantville and you're not allowing yourself to look in Technicolor. So of course you don't trust the vision because you think it's outlandish, but maybe those outlandish ideas are the truth. And the logic might not be able to see how you're going to do it because it wants to put it in certain boxes. It wants to make logical sense of it, but who knows? You might be open to it, and then you're sitting in a cafe, like finally doing something creative with your life, and somebody sits next to you and goes, I own this art place. I think you'd be really great to work there. And you're like, holy crap, like there it is. So you never know what that's going to be. I have the tuning in card, and this is telling me that you need to get your power back from those fear thoughts, those mom voice saying you're not good enough or this isn't going to work or think logically or whatever those things are. And you have to get back into the world of possibilities because at the end of the day, you will be blessed. And the Fates card is coming in, and the Fate is like, you know, you want a destiny, but then you don't want to believe in one. You think that's stuff of fairy tale. Well, if you don't believe in it, your blessed fate, then how can we give it to you? Well, you have it. You have it. And your guys are sitting there going, I've got Willy Wonka's golden ticket for you, but if you don't buy a freaking candy bar, we can't give it to you. Because if you look at Willy Wonka, you know, everybody said that there was no candies left or there was no golden tickets left and they were all gone and blah, blah, blah. And there was some sort of hope or faith that he still had. And he took his last little quarter that he found on the street and bought the candy bar and there was the golden ticket. And everybody's like, what? So there was that innocence, that there we go again, that purity of believing in something again. And then all of a sudden the magic unraveled. And so that can happen for you, but you've got to believe. Here we go, another one, Lego movie. I know it sounds like a cat poster, but it's true. So how many children's movie references did I have now? Like 4 or 5? Okay, that's my message. I think Mimi froze again. Bummer, she did. Okay, so that is our GPS for this week. I know it's a lot. I know that we have some big stuff, but next week is even bigger. We are going into this eclipse corridor. We're going into a Mercury retrograde. Don't freak out, not too much, you know. And there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to have to unravel and process. So just like we kept talking about this week was keep resting. Keep resting. You're going to need your rest. You're going to need your vitality. So take care of yourself, nurture yourself in this Virgo energy. Allow yourself to take care of that body, get a massage, take some baths, eat well, drink lots of water. Take care of your body, take care of this vessel, because this is the vessel of reality, and Virgo is all about reality, okay? Take care of your schedule. Make sure you're scheduling out time to rest, maybe me time. You don't have to tell anybody what you're doing. I'm working. I have a meeting. Go for a massage. Have a meeting with yourself. Have a meeting with your pillow, okay? Is there anything going on for me? I'm going on vacation, but I'm still holding my sale when I'm on vacation because I'm not going to be doing a lot of advertising or anything. You can go to NicoleOmen.com. My readings are about $30 off at the moment. And Mimi, I'm not sure what she's doing. You can book her readings. She's amazing, by the way, at GaiaBlooming.com. And is there anything else that I need to say? Oh, I am teaching an Artist Way class. So there's a perfect opportunity for you to be able to open up to your creative gifts and your intuition with me for 12 weeks. I started on Thursday evenings starting September 15th, and we go to the beginning of December. And I take you through a process where you get more connected to your creative center. We open up those channels. We let go of any of the interference you're having with your own intuition. We remove creative blocks. And then I help you build confidence around your own creative gifts that live inside of you. And we're going to help you use those gifts and help you with tools with your perfectionist and your inner critics and all those old voices that were programmed inside of you, so you can start living a more fulfilled, a more purpose-driven life. It's a great class. I use the book by Julia Cameron, The Artist's Way, but I also put my own spin on it and go a bit deeper because I want you to connect to your higher self, into your spirit, and have your connection with your own inner guidance system and your own intuition, because that's the most important. We can give you advice all day long, but if you don't have a connection to your own, then you're always going to give your power away. You always have to listen to yourself. Always. So that will help you with that. And Mimi's taking my class twice. She knows. It's fun.
Yes, I don't know. I didn't know that that's what you were talking about, but that is, I love Nicole's classes. And I have to just say, what I came in for, like listening to your own intuition, I've been doing readings for the eclipses, and that's like the crux of the energy of this eclipse, is working with your own intuition. It's working with yourself. Virgo, one of the things we didn't mention tonight is Virgo is Virgin energy. And Virgin, the true meaning is to be one unto yourself, which is to listen to yourself. And this energy is going to have that mutable cross energy. So there's going to be information all around that's going to be trying to tell you, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. And that's why you've got to come focused and come into your center and listen to yourself. And I highly recommend Nicole's process for that, because it helps take you in. It makes you show up for yourself and listen to yourself. So I think it's a beautiful process. And that being said, I have my sale going on for my eclipse reading, which is it's just a 20-minute reading, $25, and it's just getting in where these eclipses are in your personal chart and how you can work with them, and if they're going over any of your planets or working with any of that. So I have that going on right now. You can go get that at GaiaBlooming.com. Is that it? Do you feel good?
That's it. That's all she wrote today.
That's all, folks. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Namaste.
Namaste.